Good morning to you. Pasco County Sheriff's deputies say they responded to a domestic disturbance call and a man lunged at them with a knife. They shot him and he died on the way to the hospital.
Right now, President Trump is in Paris celebrating Bastille Day celebrations, but even overseas, the president continues to face questions about his son's meeting with a Russian attorney.
The Senate Republicans make big changes to their health care bill, but it still may not be enough to get the votes that they need.
And in just a few hours, a group of veterans will rally in support of a monument in downtown Tampa. They want to keep the Confederate monument outside the courthouse there.
Anna Maria Island's first full-service resort just broke ground. It's going to open in August, and about 60 people will work at the Waterline Marina Resort and Beach Club.
Hey, and heads up if you're in Pasco County, we have a crash on State Road 54 right near the Suncoast Parkway. All westbound lanes are blocked, so just be aware of that as you're heading out. But weather is looking great. At least we're not going to see any issues with rain.
Right. Good news, no rain this morning.
Yeah,
that's the key word, though. But later
exactly.
this afternoon, scattered afternoon showers and storms are once again in the forecast.
Good morning to you and to our viewers watching on Facebook Live right now. I'm about to hop on and answer some of your questions if you have any, especially about this next story, because President Trump and the First Lady, they're in Paris celebrating Bastille Day right now. But back here in the U.S., things are heating up for Donald Trump Jr. Now, not one, but two Senate panels want the president's son to testify. Members of the Senate Intelligence Committee have sent him an official request for documents, and the president defended his son regarding the meeting he had with a Russian lawyer who promised him damaging information on Hillary Clinton.
We've had Trump campaign officials, where we've had Trump administration officials, all say they've had no contacts with Russians. There's nothing to look at here until the evidence comes out that there were meetings with Russians.
Back in Paris, the hope was President Trump's visit would help smooth over a relationship between these two leaders. And yesterday, President Trump actually hinted at a willingness to reverse course on his decision to pull out of the global Paris Climate Agreement. But what's really making headlines, what people are talking about, is not what they're discussing about policy, but yet another encounter President Trump had when it comes to a greeting, Courtney.
Yes.
And this time with the French president's wife, not just the handshake, but something he said.
Yeah, something he said. You know, I feel like I could have given him a pass if it was just a handshake, because give him a break on that. But when he said some things, I was like, we got to talk about this. So let me show you the video of this awkward encounter. Here's the handshake. He goes in, kisses her on both cheeks, which is normal. But then he doesn't let go of her hand. He kind of brings it toward himself. Now, later on, he goes on to tell her that she's in such good shape and called her beautiful. And as you can see, this was in front of her husband as well as Melania, his own wife. Now, I'm starting to think that he thinks this is what women want to hear, compliments about their exterior. I mean, remember this exchange between him and an Irish reporter? He was in the middle of a phone call with the Prime Minister of Ireland when he pauses, calls this reporter right here over to him, and tells the Prime Minister how beautiful his press is. Now, she tweeted out this video and said that it was just a bizarre encounter, Jackie.
Yes, Courtney. Well, now a news alert that you probably woke up to this morning on your phones. President Trump's travel ban got hit with another setback. A federal judge in Hawaii just expanded the family relationship that visa applicants can use to get into the country. It'll now include grandparents, grandchildren, uncles, aunts, and other relatives. So, Rob, this ruling essentially waters down the original ban, right?
Yeah, it does. And the ban has been a battle for the administration really since it was first put into place way back in January. But to give everyone kind of a quick refresher, the president wants to ban people for 90 days from 6 predominantly Muslim countries: Iran, Syria, Sudan, Libya, Yemen, and Somalia. I'm sure you've heard that list before. But the ban has been loosened up a little bit by the Trump administration. So before today, only parent, spouse, fiance, son, daughter, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, or a sibling were allowed into the country. But now it will expand to grandparents, grandchildren, aunts, uncles, and relatives. So a welcome sign for a lot of people from those 6 countries.
Because, Rob, that was the major thing that people were so upset about, the definition of a bona fide relationship. You know?
Yeah, Jackie, there was a lot of gray area with that originally. I think the concern was that someone would claim they had a 5th cousin in Idaho or something they were coming to visit. So they've done away with that, and it's been loosened up a lot.
Well, it is 6:04 on your Friday. Good morning, Grant. How's it looking outside?
Waiting for that rain to try to move in later this afternoon, Jackie, but right now we are all clear, at least on the radar front. Some clouds hanging around out there this morning, but your radar is clean and your temperatures are high. 80 degrees right now, but you factor in that dew point of 76 and it feels more like around 86, 87 degrees this morning with those calm winds. You're not getting much relief from that either. So your morning, partly cloudy skies, muggy temperatures already up around 90 by midday. A few isolated showers as we head through the middle of the day, but scattered showers and storms likely once again later this afternoon. 6 o'clock, or are we heading into the 6 o'clock hour? And Laura, the road's beginning to pick up.
Yeah, it is starting to pick up. I do want to tell you about a crash in Pasco County that we're keeping a close eye on. This is the one that's really blocking lanes. State Road 54 as you're heading west to the Suncoast Parkway. Now, FHP says all westbound lanes are blocked. If you have to head to the Suncoast Parkway, your alternate is to take Sun Lake Boulevard and then to Lutz Lake Fern Road to get back onto the Suncoast Parkway, so that way you can make your drive. The good news is Veterans is looking great. I'm not seeing any other delays once you get onto the Veterans in the Suncoast.
6:05 right now. You might not have heard about this, or maybe you read about it. An illegal hallucinogen that grows as a vine in the Amazon. Well, a lot of people say it's helping veterans with severe PTSD or rape victims or even people in the grips of drug addiction. And 10 News reporter Phil Buck found a church in Orlando that is serving this vine that some call the spirit molecule.
I'm just taken back in so many ways by what I've seen here.
There's a healing, a learning, a spiritual growth here.
Nothing can get you as close to the heartbeat of the earth than this right here.
Cleanse your hands, your arms, and your face and head.
Chris Young is the founder of the Soul Quest Ayahuasca Church of Mother Earth. Their sacrament, the ayahuasca vine, has been used by medicine men in the Amazon for centuries and can work as a powerful hallucinogen.
Well, the active chemical in the ayahuasca vine is what's known as DMT, which is considered a Schedule I illegal drug by the federal government. But if it's used as a religious sacrament, well, then it's protected under a Supreme Court ruling, which is why the church is just now getting ready to submit this exemption letter to the Drug Enforcement Agency, which will pave the way toward it becoming the third legal ayahuasca church in the United States.
Ayahuasca is not a game. It is definitely not for fun and enjoyment. People who come here and want to have that experience, a party or fun, they're not going to have that.
Vomiting, fearful visions, and deep-seated trauma coming to the surface can all occur when taking ayahuasca, but it is in that suffering where those who use it say the true healing occurs.
It's not a recreational thing. It's about spiritual and emotional healing and growth.
Spiritual and emotional healing. These are things that are very hard to measure in a scientific sense. So I wanted to find out exactly what happens to the brain when you take ayahuasca.
You can't fault people for being curious, but at the same time, this has a very dangerous component to it.
Dr. Kimberly Hartney is a brain chemistry expert, and I asked her how she feels about using ayahuasca as a religious sacrament.
What I'm concerned about is the need for medical attention at the time of administration of the medication, because they do get that experience where you can have a hypertensive crisis and die.
A valid concern.
When that started,
nonetheless, thousands of people have come to Soul Quest looking for healing, and many say it has saved their lives. They include veterans with severe post-traumatic stress disorder, people like Marine Corps vet Ryan LeCompte.
It was just this balance that put me back into a really like a balanced place, and it was beautiful. Yeah.
They're losing their wives, they're losing their children, they're losing their mind. When they came here, they were able to get it all back.
Wow.
So Jackie, I mean that's only about half the story. And if you go to WTSP.com, there's another about 2 minutes, and you can go watch that full story, and you can hear more from some of these veterans and some of these other people who have taken it and experienced it and what they got out of it.
A fascinating story, Phil. I mean, I've heard about this in movies and TV shows, so I've never seen it happening locally here. How much does it cost?
Well, yeah, it's growing. It's growing all over the country. People are using it everywhere, but most are using it illegally. This is where it's being used legally here in Orlando. As far as the cost goes, they don't charge for the medicine. What you pay for is to be a member of the church. That costs around $350, and then you have access to everything that the church has to offer, a number of different services, and that includes the ayahuasca.
So, Phil, we are ending our Facebook Live broadcast right now, but on Brightside, we're taking a closer look at discrimination when it comes to our criminal justice system.